Hi guys, apologies in advance for the state of the room. We've just moved and I'm still unpacking everything. But I just got back from the printing shop because I got a couple of battle mats printed from 2 Minute Tabletop. Let's unwrap and have a look. So yeah, I saw on a friend's Facebook page, he'd shared an image from this website called 2minutetabletop.com, and I forget the guy's name, I think it's Ross. I'll put a note with the guy's name and the web address here and also in the description below. But the guy does these very nice battle maps or role-playing maps that you can use with games, and I thought the artwork looked really nice. Now, most of his maps on the website are more RPG in nature for role-playing games, to sort of put your figures where they are and put the enemies where they are. I'll put a few here in a moment to show you. But there are a few of his designs that are very suitable for more my kind of gaming, which is wargaming. So I got a couple printed. He does some which are 44 inches by 32 inches, which is this one. This is the actual size, 44 inch by 32 inch. There are some others which are smaller, but you could also, I think there are some where you can combine them together to make a larger map like this. There is like a cathedral where it's in two parts, two smaller maps, but you can put together into one big map. That's one that I might print out later. But the thing is, when you're dealing with tabletop gaming, when you're doing miniatures gaming, you don't want to have too much terrain already on the mat, because we love our 3D terrain. We like to have our buildings and our trees and our hills actually 3D. So when we're doing wargaming, we try to find these mats which have minimal kind of clutter. Not clutter, I don't mean that in a negative sense, but in terms of things on the board. So this is one of the ones of his I printed. It's very suitable for wargaming. I mean, it has trees here, but it's nothing that's going to look out of place if we move models around. Just give me a second, I'll show you what I mean. So I mean, I'll just put a few things on here, but you can see in terms of the terrain that we tend to use in wargaming. We have these 3D models here, we have crates and everything else. So for wargaming, we tend not to have too many details on the battle map itself. But like I say, he does have some which are very, very nice. Now, if you go to the website, which is 2minutetabletop.com, he does have a bunch of these which are pay what you want. There are recommended prices, but it's pay what you want. You can download for free, which is actually what I did with these. I downloaded these to, I'll show you the other one I have. The other one's underneath, it was wrapped up together. I downloaded these for free because I wanted to see, I actually wanted to see them in real life so that I could judge exactly what they are worth. And I'm looking at them now and I'm trying to judge exactly how much I think they're worth. I think that I think the guy's name is Ross. Again, I'll correct myself if I'm wrong. But I think he asks for $1 per map. I think it's $1. So to be honest, I think I'm going to go back on there and pay a little bit extra because I think these are worth more than $1. See, I think I downloaded 4 maps. So yeah, I'm gonna, like, for me, if I do this and pay $0, what I do then is I go back, I order the same thing again, and I add an amount of money that I think is worth, or I buy another product which is pay what you want, and I just add that value onto it extra. Because to be honest with you, things like this, they take time and effort. I don't really want to get it for free. I like to contribute towards artists and everything like that. So yeah, there's a bunch of maps which are free. recommend that you pay $1 for each one, but like I say, I'm probably going to pay a little bit more. He also has a Patreon where you get more variants and you get other maps. So for example, when you download this one, I can't remember what this one's called. I think it is the Lakeside Camp. I think if I remember correctly, this comes in a night and day version. This is the daytime version, obviously. And I think you get, if I remember correctly, you get night and day in JPEG format. And I also think you get in PDF. So you can print out yourself on A4, A3, whatever size you can print, and then sort of glue it together onto some board. These are also designed for use in the virtual tabletop software. So yeah, like I say, I'm quite happy with the designs. With the printing, it's a little bit, I don't know if it's been fixed or whether they've just glued it at the edges, but it seems a little bit airy, like a little bit bubbly on the surface in places. There's a few lines as well. I don't think that was the JPEG, I think this is from their printer. So I mean, I think the printing could be better. It's on foam core or foam board. These cost me, it's A0 size roughly, and it cost me I think 132 ringgit. I'll put the conversion into dollars and pounds up on the top. But I mean, as long as it doesn't start peeling off, I'm quite happy with this. I think it looks rather nice. The art style may not be for everybody. I mean, I do have the more standard battle mats, you know, and things like WorldWorks games or Ebbles or Dave Graffam, you know, they do the floor tiles that you can stick down on board or foam core. But occasionally I'll print one out. But yeah, I really like this. I think it's a very, what's the word? Not vivid. Very attractive. It's very bright. I think it's going to look good for certain kinds of games. But like I say, you've got to be careful which ones you choose, because ones that have too much, again, I want to use the word clutter, but it's not. It's if there's too much 3D objects printed on the map, it may not look so good when you're doing the tabletop battles. But yeah, this is the first of the two that I got printed out. Very happy with this. This is the Lakeside Camp. Let's now get rid of all this, and I'll pull out the other one so we can have a look at. Okay, so this is the other board that I had printed, again featuring 2-minute tabletop map. This is the Ancient Desert Temple. Very, very nice. Again, there's that question about how much terrain should be printed on the board when we're doing wargaming. Because like again, I think most of these are designed for more role-playing games in nature, so you put it down and you just put down the figures with just a little bit of scatter terrain. But in wargaming, we tend to have much more 3D terrain. So again, there's that question, how much is too much? Well, looking at this map, I mean, we do have ruined walls, we have a tomb entrance there, and we've got a little bit of vegetation, some cactus. But I think that this is okay. I think this is kind of on the border where it's usable in a war game. So, and again, this is one of the ones that really caught my eye because I just love these kind of graphics. Now, I need to play some games and see how this feels and how it looks. But I do think I'm going to be getting some more printed, some other ones he's printed. So like I say, I'm going to go back to his website, which is 2minutetabletop.com. I'm going to go there, I'm going to download some more maps, and this time I'm going to actually put some money his way for these. I don't want to get them all for free. I want to help to support these artists and give them a little bit of recognition for the work they do, and this is beautiful. I really do like this. So yeah, this is more of a desert tabletop. Now this one I actually printed for a reason. I'll be doing or maybe by the time this video is released, I'll have done already a video reviewing a product from another company. Sneak peek! So I'm going to be using this for that because I thought this would really suit that particular product. So like I say, depending on which video gets recorded and published first, I'll have either done that with this map or I will be doing that with this map. So again, let's take a look at what this looks like with some 3D terrain put on it. Now, the kind of graphics on here may restrict where I can put things because you don't want to put a building sort of half on and half off of ruins and stuff, but I also don't have a lot of desert terrain, to be very honest with you. I think the stuff that I have is more modern in nature, sort of like modern sort of Middle East combat sort of things. But let me put a few bits and pieces on here and we can see what we can do. Okay, so I've put a little bit, like I said, I don't have a lot of desert terrain, but I've put what I have, well at least some of the buildings that I have on the board. I'm trying to work with the design. So for example, like here, these two buildings here, I've actually covered up the ruins on the board. I've basically just covered them with these. Other times I've kind of worked with the terrain, so I'm working with it. So this would count as being a wall. Also maybe the models. Again, depending on how much you want to actually use the terrain on the map, you could have this actually as a tree or a bush, so your soldiers would have to go around it, or you can just put guys moving over it. It's not a big problem, but like I say, having a map like this, as long as it's not too, what's the best way of describing it? As long as it's not too three-dimensionally 2D, or two-dimensionally 3D, as long as it's not too extreme, I think it can work. There was another one of the other ones I downloaded was the Forgotten Monastery and the Monastery Interior, which is actually two smaller maps, which are half this size, that you can actually put together to make one big map. That's another one that I'm thinking of getting printed, but again, it has ruined walls and columns and things, so I need to think about how that's going to work. In terms of things like these columns, I'm pretty sure that I have columns in 3D that I could probably put in these positions. And yes, I'm using the same miniatures, sorry. But yeah, in terms of the printing, again, I'm getting like bubbles underneath. I don't think they used adhesive on the entire surface. I think they just used on the edges. So there's a little bit of raising in some places. In terms of the quality of the print, perfectly nice. Again, I think the map looks really stunning. And like I say, I definitely think this is worthwhile you guys having a look at. I know that there are many places that you can get battle maps. I know that you can get them on neoprene and you can get them on PVC. The trouble is that living where I live, I think the shipping's going to be more than the product, so I can't afford to do that. Like I say, these also come as PDFs. You also get a PDF in the download. So you can print off your own and then stick them together. That will be cheaper, obviously, but you will probably have lines between the pages, no matter how much you put them together or you edge them, you're still going to have visible lines. Like if you've seen some of my other videos, the Rain in Hell, the 5 parsecs from home, if you've seen those videos of mine, again, those are from PDFs that I've stuck together onto board. And again, sometimes it's very obvious the separating lines between the pieces of paper or card. So getting them printed every now and again, yeah, it's more expensive, but I think it's I think it looks really nice. And when finances afford, I'm going to get some more of these done. But I'm definitely going to go back to his website, get some more of these maps, yeah, and put some money his way, because I think he really deserves it. If you're into RPGs, role-playing games, there are a lot more maps on his site which are much more suitable for RPGs. This size, there's a lot of a smaller size for encounters and things like that. But yeah, definitely worth a look whether you're into RPGs or whether you're into wargaming. Okay, so I did go back to 2-minute tabletop, and I did get a few other maps, and I did put some money his way towards all of this. The guy's name is Ross, I did check. So this is the Forgotten Well. It's one of his smaller maps. I did this by printing on my printer. I think I took the JPEG, put into Paint, and then printed on multiple pages. Looking back, I think I should have printed it using the PDF, because that would have given a more equal breakdown in terms of the page printing. Using Paint, I've got some sections that are bigger than others, as you can see. And this is the problem with sort of printing your own on smaller pages like A4 or A2, A4 or A3, and then sort of sticking them all together. You see that you can definitely see the lines between the sheets of card or paper that you print on. It's quite obvious. I mean, I printed this on mounting card or mounting board, which has a black surface and a white surface. So I did this printed on the black, I stuck this onto the black surface. I edged with black marker. Because this is less obvious than it would have been if I'd used the white side, because I was expecting gaps between the pages. No matter how well you print or how accurately you try to cut, you're going to end up with gaps, and it looks okay. I mean, I don't have the most expensive printer at home. I've got a fairly cheap printer. The colors are very muted. Compared to the ones I got printed at the print shop. Those are much more sharp, much more colourful, much more bright. Oi. Psst. But I mean, this would be fine for, just general use. But I think in future sort of maps like this, I'll probably get printed at the print shop, but I think I'll get them to use adhesive on the entire surface rather than just the edges like they did with the two over there, which I'll be using in the upcoming games. These ones that I showed earlier. Yeah, but these are bending. Got a bit of a bend or warp in them, so I need to get them sorted out. So yeah, this was just a test, just to see what the smaller maps and printing myself would bring. I mean, it still looks very nice. It's just that it's very the colours aren't as bright or as sharp, unfortunately. But that's mainly because of my printer. But if you're going to print at home, this is what you're probably going to expect. Is it worth spending the extra money to get them printed professionally at a shop and mounted properly? Well, yeah, but I mean, it all depends on your budget. If you don't have the budget, this is fine. Absolutely nothing wrong at all with this. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. This is perfectly fine. So this is the Forgotten Well. And like I say, guys, with these maps, a lot of them are free for download. They pay what you want. You can put 0 there if you want to, but I do highly recommend at least putting a bit of money his way in recognition of the work that they've done. Yeah, so this is The Forgotten Well from 2 Minute Tabletop. So yeah, highly recommended. 2minutetabletop.com. Go there and have a look. I'm very happy with these two. And like I say, there will be a game coming out, a review of a game and a game coming out, sneak peek, either very soon or just before this, featuring this map here. So yeah, big thumbs up from me. Big thumbs up from me if I was Spain. Okay, thank you guys. Take a moment to like and subscribe, please. Share this video. Let's get that subscriber count up and running. 2022, I want to try and hit a lot more subscribers. 500, 1,000, 5,000. Let's get it going. All right, guys, Happy New Year. Keep those dice rolling. Hopefully the bubbles are flying high for you guys, and see you soon. Cheers.